2, Tone Taylor.
What up, y'all? It's Chris Harris. What's going on?
How's everybody doing this Wednesday evening? Let's get to it, man.
How are you?
I'm great. How you feeling?
I'm all right.
You ready for today?
I'm ready, baby.
You sure?
I'm ready, man.
Take a lot of L's, man. I'm just letting you know in this debate thing. You all right?
You starting with me already, I see.
Listen.
You started.
This is how we
work.
work.
Haven't been here a minute, and you
Doesn't matter. This is how we work. I just want to make sure you're ready.
What were your thoughts on the national? I don't got the time for you today.
Okay.
What are the thoughts on the national championship game? Villanova paces. They just outpaced Michigan. The first 4 minutes, you was texting me, Michigan looking good. Michigan looking good. Michigan looking good. I don't know. Big boy killing Amari because, the first person you had to talk about was Amari Spellman.
I just said that one move.
Nah, man.
That move was crazy. You agree?
What was your thoughts?
Listen, I thought it was very entertaining. And yes, I did text you. I was like, wow, Michigan's coming out firing. But once it hit that 11th minute mark, the tide changed dramatically. I think what was the score? 21-14. 21-14. At that moment in time, Mo Wagner had 11 points already. He did not score for the rest of the half. They did not score again until the 5-minute mark. That Villanova, once that man, Dante DiVincenzo came in the game, he changed the whole aspect of the game. Brunson did have foul trouble, so he was in and out, wasn't really playing to his true potential, but that whole dynamic, that Villanova offense, that defense really showed out. You could see it was a difference, and that's why I like Jay Wright. It's a totally they find different ways to win. Because if you look at the Kansas game, they were shooting lights out.
They shot him out of the state. They shot him back home to Kansas.
It was crazy. It was just a rout. Now, it was a little slower pace. They wasn't hitting as many threes. I think they only hit 1 3 in the first half. But the whole dynamic of the game changed dramatically once they implemented DiVincenzo. The offense started moving, defense started picking up, and it took Michigan's whole offense out of the game. I loved it from the beginning to the end. I did have Villanova to win anyway, so I didn't think too much of it on that aspect, but I loved it. It was exciting. And just to see it, I became a DiVincenzo fan automatically. I liked him before, and we was talking about it. I text you.
I was a fan before.
Okay, all right.
But I get what you're saying.
Can I have my spot right now? Can I have my spot?
Go ahead.
All
I'm
right,
not taking anything from you.
Okay.
You did give him his just due. I'm not taking
Thank you. I
anything
appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I thank you. I appreciate it. But I did text you and say, yo, Villanova always keeps a nice white boy that can get buckets. Nardi. And what was his name? Arenak?
Archie Diacono?
Yeah. So they always keep somebody that can go off that bench or starting. So it was a very exciting game. I loved every minute of it. Mikal Bridges played great. 19 points, 7 for 12.
Eric Pascal played really good.
Yo, I like him.
He's a New York
He
kid.
rebounds.
He's a New York kid.
Yeah.
He's a New York
He
kid.
rebounds.
Went to Fordham, transferred out of Fordham. He's a New York kid. One thing I think people, if you watch Villanova, I mean, you fall in love with the ball movement. You fall in love because Villanova plays the right way. Is that fair to say? Villanova plays basketball the right way.
Absolutely.
You have to look at, but I mean, I think this is an extension of Jay Wright. I think they have the saying, players win and coaches lose. So whenever you lose, it's the coach's loss. But whenever you win, it's the players win. You have to look at Jay Wright. Jay Wright's poise on the sideline is probably the best I've seen in any coach at any level. I mean, the kids can have a blown assignment. They'll look at the bench, and he's just like this the whole time. We're fine. He never seems to be ruffled. He never seems to be upset. You never see him get over-animated. You never see him get too high. You never see him get too low.
Mm-hmm.
So I think his poise plays a lot into having his guys have that calmness. Dante DiVincenzo, people don't really realize, Dante DiVincenzo had multiple 30-point games off the bench this year.
He had a second.
His second or third.
Because he had 30 against Butler.
He had 30 against St. John's in the Garden.
He had 30 that game?
Yeah,
Okay.
him and Shamari Pons went at it. And that was the difference in the game. Shamari Pons had 37 or 40, something like that, but Dante DiVincenzo had 31 and hit 6 threes that game. So Dante DiVincenzo has never been shy about coming off the bench.
No slouch at all.
But, I mean, it was just Michigan just didn't have enough weapons.
I agree with that.
Michigan just didn't have enough weapons. I don't want to say that the moment was too big for them. Them boys fought hard. Nobody really, not too many people expected, less than 10% of people expected Michigan to be there in the first place. But Villanova, they just been dominant all year. They're the last team to win every game by double figures in the NCAA tournament since that 2009 North Carolina national championship team with Tyler Hansborough, Wayne Ellington, Ty Lawson, those guys. So Villanova, you watch the complete team all year. People had them going to the Final Four, the national championship game from September. So it's not a shock to me.
That they won, of course.
That they won is not a shock to me. I like the way they did it, the fashion they did it. Of course, I'm happy for my kid, Amari Spellman. That's my guy. We shared a few words after, and just all his hard work, him losing 50 pounds and redshirting, him putting in a position to feed his family and go. I don't think he's going to go pro, but he has the option.
Think he's gonna stay?
I think he's going to stay.
Okay.
I think he'll stay one more year, and I think he'll have to prove, like, hey, you got to do it again. Like you got two pros. You got Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges with you. That's why you're able to do it. Can you do it when those guys are gone? And I think if he does, I think he has the ability to do it. You asked me a question. Who would I take? Mike Nardi, Dante DiVincenzo, or Ryan Archidiakono? It's not a question. I'm taking Mike Nardi.
It's not a question.
I'm taking Mike
Not
Nardi.
even close.
I'm taking Mike Nardi.
Why?
The boy from Jersey.
Why?
Mike Nardi was one of those, in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, he was one of those great St. Pat's guards right before Corey Fisher.
Okay.
So the boy always could play. I liked his pace. I liked his toughness. He had a little bit more of a swag with him, and people forget Kyle Lowry acquiesced to Mike Nardi. Mike Nardi.
Yeah, because Lowry came off the bench.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Mike Nardi handled the ball for guys like Allen Rand, Randy Foster. Those guys could get buckets, and he kind of stood away. But Mike Nardi was able to go get 25 whenever he wanted to. He just chose not to.
Yeah.
Like Dante, I feel like Mike Nardi had a little bit more ability to make plays for others than DiVincenzo and Archidiakono. But DiVincenzo is a close second for me. I just like his pace. I like his athletic ability.
His athletic ability is
like
really what
he
stood
has
out
IQ. He's very efficient. He doesn't need that many dribbles to score. Is what I like about Dante DiVincenzo. He never takes more than 3-4 possessions and dribbles in a possession. So his efficiency is really high. Archidiakono, I was never high on him. He just got it. He just got it going at the right time.
Absolutely.
And he just balled and made you respect him. But it's not a question. I'm taking Mike Nardi.
Okay, all right. I can't knock you for that.
Let me ask you this really quick. Where does Jay Wright now rank amongst active
I'm
coaches?
glad and you know what? And I was going to shoot this to you because you are the coach. You come from a coaching tree. And I really want to hear your output on it. Right now, where does he rank?
I can't put him in a number because I feel like guys that are ahead of him have done it just as good. Even though they haven't won national championships, they've put an input in the game where, like, let's take Mike Krzyzewski. Mike Krzyzewski, you got to argue he has the most wins. So how do you not think about the wins, the national championships, the players he's put in the pros, right? Just leave that. Perfect.
Okay.
Roy Williams has 3 at North Carolina. He has 3, and I think he took over in 2004. So in 14 years, he's won 3 national championships. And I think he's been to 5 Final Fours. He's produced a whole bunch of pros. So you got to kind of leave him there. A lot of people don't like John Calipari. John Calipari's taken 3 schools to the Final Four, national championship game, with Massachusetts and Marcus Camby, Derrick Rose in Memphis, and Anthony Davis. He's been to 4 Final Fours with Kentucky. So he's been around the block. Even though he's won 1 national championship, he's changed the face of basketball and college basketball. For good, bad, indifferent, it doesn't matter. We can't go on the show without talking about somebody from Kentucky or somebody that came through the Kentucky program. And you can't turn the NBA on without watching somebody play from Kentucky.
Absolutely.
So how does his impact go unnoticed? A lot of people don't like Bill Self or don't want to throw Bill Self in there. Bill Self, Tom Izzo. I would throw Tom Izzo in there before Bill Self because of body of work. But Jay Wright is definitely now top 5. I think he's kind of surpassed Bill Self.
Okay. So basically, you said you don't want to put the number. You don't want to put it.
But if I had to,
because I told you can't escape this one.
4.
I need you. You put him 4.
I would put him 4. Just because I would put Coach K, Roy Williams, Cal, Jay Wright.
And Jay Wright.
Just because Jay Wright has won national championships, but when I look at a coach, I'm looking at everything. You know, I'm looking at, your body of work for how long, because he's had some. He took he took Villanova to the Final Four in 2008, I think, with Corey Fisher, Scotty Reynolds, those guys. And then kind of like didn't really hear from them, and then he just got back on the last 3 years. But so I don't think his body of work has been like overly impressive. He hasn't overly produced any pros. He hasn't given us so many pros where you can turn on the NBA and, the only pros that you really get for Villanova in that Jay Wright class is Dante Cunningham, who's been in and out of the league, Kyle Lowry, Randy Foye is out of the league now. So those are only really
Lowry
3 pros.
Is really like the face
of that Villanova. So
that's he's the recruiting access when you talk about.
Now, mind you, Coach K is still putting guys in the NBA. That Grant Hill just got nominated to go to the Hall of Fame. So it's kind of hard. Now, you can't trump 3 national championships.
Absolutely not.
With Roy Williams. And Cal is just, like I said, he gave us John Wall, he gave us Devin Booker, he gave us Anthony Davis, he gave us DeMarcus Cousins, he gave us Karl Anthony Towns.
You could keep going on and on.
You could go on and on about this.
Okay.
So I think Jay Wright is 4th, and is going to be. He just hasn't done enough of the other things.
Okay.
That come along with coaching. The top recruiting classes every year, the freshmen, all of that. You winning with freshmen and you losing guys to the NBA, but yet you got to go out and go recruit and go get another guy and be right back where you are, if not better. So.
Okay. When I looked at this question, and I really had to take into consideration a few things. Jay Wright's been at Villanova 17 years, right?
Right.
Okay. If you look at the aspect of college basketball, just from us maybe years before, if you looked at the big schools that everybody wanted to go to, it was always Duke, North Carolina, right? That was
the Blue Bloods.
That's what we looked up to, just players. That was the ACC, of course, being in New York, we love the Big East. But for the aspect of, the top schools, if you're not in New York and looking at the Big East schools, it's the ACC, it's Duke, North Carolina. That's our era, right? But if you look in the last 17 years, these kids, because basically this next class is born 2000 and after, right? So if I'm a kid and I'm looking at schools to go to and winning, I don't know about the 90s winning and 80s. I don't know about that.
That's a very great point.
I didn't come up in that era. I didn't see that. So when I look at teams that's winning, of course you look at Duke because
they're still winning.
They're still winning, but I look at what was I wasn't around for it, but I know about it. If I'm 2000,
because it's forced on us. It's force fed.
Because he won 91 and 92. So, but if we take in the last 17 years, he won 2010, 2015, and 2001, right? So Coach K still has 3. So I was definitely put him number 1, right? He reached 12 Final Fours. His resume is impeccable. Roy Williams. For those 17 years, he still has 3 chips.
We got to give him 14 years. Let's just count North Carolina.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, if I'm looking at that aspect of those years, he has 05, 09, and last year, right? He still has 3. So now I boil down to the coaching style. Jay Wright, like you brought up before, Jay Wright is cool, smooth guy. He feels like, I don't know, just like you said, he doesn't get rattled. He's not screaming. He's calming everybody down. He just feels like a smooth guy, somebody that you would love to play for. All right. Now, he's won 2 in the last 3 years. He's been there 17, but he went to 3 Final Fours, and he's won 2 national championships in the last 3 years.
4 Final Fours.
4 Final Fours?
Because remember Corey Fisher and they lost.
So, if you look at that, now I'm really looking at other schools now. If you combine Bill Self and Jim Boeheim. Combined, they have 2. Yes, Bill Self has 3 Final Four appearances. Tom Izzo. If you combine Tom Izzo and John Calipari, they both have 2. He's reached multiple Final Fours appearances for John Calipari. He produces pros. But I really have to take in consideration that since I've really been involved in basketball, Villanova is up there each and every year. They were dominant in the Big East. They're still dominant now, and they're winning. So I would love to join that. Now, where he ranks, if I'm ranking coaches right now off a body of work, and I'm going off now. The question was now. I will put him 3rd.
Okay. No argument.
I will put him 3rd, and the reason I'm putting him 3rd is because of those simple aspects that I'm speaking of.
With Roy and
with
Duke,
Roy,
Duke in North Carolina, which is
Duke. You have to
almost bigger than basketball kind of thing.
It's just about now. History, of course, is going to be totally different. But as of right now, I have him ranked 3rd, and he's doing it without top 5 recruits, 5-star recruits. He's doing it. He develops his players. He develops. Yes, Coach K gets him one and done. Now he's doing one and done now too. But Calipari, one and done. He gets his players ready in that year span, and he takes them off. But I like Jay Wright. I really like Jay Wright.
You had no choice but to like him.
It's simple.
Really quick, since we did the competition, I finally tallied it up right before we go to commercial. Really close. Came down to the winner who actually picked the correct national championship.
That's amazing.
He picked Michigan and Villanova to go to the national championship game. So
who's this prophet?
So he actually picked 3 out of the 4 Final Four teams.
He picked 3 out of the 4.
He picked Kansas, he picked Villanova, and he picked Michigan to go to the Final Four.
He sent this to you before the tournament started?
I got the printout, bro. I got the printout right here.
Listen.
Good friend of mine, great supporter of the show, always calls me, always tunes in, my man Joe Sawyer.
Yo, let's get a round of applause for Joe Sawyer.
We got to give a round of applause for my man Joe Sawyer. So, Joe, if you're watching, I'm pretty sure you're watching, shoot me a text. I'll reach out to you. Just let me know where you want us to send that gift card. The gift card and the autograph book. And congratulations,
Let's get another round of applause for him.
Appreciate everybody that participated. It came down close. My boy Donnie had it. He was in the lead at the Final Four, and then Joe ended up picking the national championship game and got it right.
So
and that's what it came down to.
Who Donnie picked? Who did Donnie pick?
Donnie picked UNC and Villanova and picked UNC to win it.
Really?
Yeah.
He didn't watch him this year?
I had UNC in the national championship game. No, did I? No, I didn't. But I had them go to the Final Four. I felt like their bracket, they got hot at the right time. But that's neither here nor there. Coming up, thoughts on the women's Final Four, which was
epic.
I'm gonna go out and say right before we go to commercial, the women's Final Four was better than the men's Final Four this year.
I will not disagree.
All right, coming up, we got the women's Final Four. You are tuned in to Topics on IBNX Radio.
You're listening to IBNX. IBNXradio.com. The station with the best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
Hey, what's up? It's Jay-Z.
Hey, I'm Mariah Carey. Hey, it's Katy Perry.
It's your boy T.I.P., man. Get in. It's your boy Sean Kingston.
What's up, y'all? I'm Beyonce. This is Nicki Minaj, and I'm in the mix with
IBNX Radio.
Walk across the thing.
You're listening to Topics here on IBNX Radio. Let's get into the women's Final Four, which you said already was better than the men's Final Four.
Better than the men's Final Four. Arguably one of the best sporting events I've got to see. I've been to a Final Four. I went to the 2014 Final Four, men's. And that was the best sporting experience I've had. Okay. Being in Dallas Stadium, the big Dallas Stadium, it looks like the spaceship from Independence Day when you drive up on it. It looks like it's going to take off any minute. Being there amongst 125,000 people and being in the atmosphere is nothing like it. But from watching it from a coaching standpoint this year, I need to say this. Major media hubs, we now have to take accountability. And we can't undermine or take away what these young women are doing across all sports. You know, for one of the first times I've seen the Final Four, both games went into overtime. The Final Four between Notre Dame and UConn when came down to a shot at the last minute. I mean, the last second. And then the young lady hits the game winner the next two nights later for the national championship. And I'm going to butcher her name. I'm sorry. I'm going to butcher her name. But Enrique Ogunbowale. Young lady.
We're sorry in advance.
If I butchered your name, young lady.
For his butcher of your name.
Listen here. What you done this past weekend will go down, and not in women, I don't want to say in women's sports history. It's going to go down in sports history. I'm going to go on a limb, and I'm going to say now that if she doesn't win an ESPY, if not multiple ESPYs, I will not watch the ESPYs anymore.
Greatest moment. Would probably be the greatest moment.
It has to be.
You'll still watch it, but I understand what you're saying.
No, I'm turning it off if she don't win. And I'm not watching it next year. You got to give me a good reason. Unless we nominate.
There you go.
Unless we nominate. You know what I'm saying? Popcorn play unless we nominate. But other than that, man, I mean, the games, you got to watch it from a coaching standpoint. The women are... If you're a fan of the way the basketball's supposed to be played, then you can't not watch women's basketball.
Absolutely.
They run their sets to a T. Them girls compete. They leave it all on the line. They're not running and dunking and everything, but they got range. They can shoot. They can hoop. Let's not come on. Let's shed light on this. Let's talk about it. Do you feel like the media is kind of like pushing this weekend to the side? Had they pushed it to the side?
They definitely pushed it to the side, and I really hope after this past weekend, a light bulb will pop in their head, because that semifinals game was unbelievable.
Both of them.
But just to the point that you have the juggernaut UConn.
I didn't even bring them. I was going to wait for you to bring them up.
The juggernaut UConn that's known for winning and winning and winning, and everybody's saying, is it worth watching women's basketball? Let's not forget that they lost last year in the semifinals on a buzzer beater to Mississippi State. So let's not forget that. So they didn't win last year, and yes, everybody counted them to win this year. And it was a juggernaut, back and forth, back and forth. You really need to watch women's college watch women's sports, period. A lot of people will say, sorry to cut you off.
No,
a lot of people will say, it's boring because they're not dunking and they're not. If that's what you watch basketball for, you're not a basketball fan.
Hello. Dude.
If that's what you watch basketball for, you're not a basketball fan.
I completely agree. And we want to talk about coaches. We want to give Jay Wright and Coach K and all the Muffin McGraw,
unbelievable,
from Notre Dame.
Yes,
she get it done.
Yo, and you know what's
she gets
and
it
I'm
done.
glad that you brought her name up.
She gets it done. Not only just Gino Auriemma get it done for UConn, obviously, but Muffin McGraw gets it done.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people that don't watch it, I need to shine some light on Notre Dame. Notre Dame lost 4 players this season to ACL injuries. 4 players. Core players. 2 starters.
In any sport is bad.
Any sport. But they lost, beginning of the season, they lost 4 players to ACL injuries. And they ended up winning the national championship and beating UConn, the juggernaut.
Undefeated.
And ended up winning the national championship and beating Mississippi State. Mississippi State that lost last year in the championship to South Carolina. That, like you said, the performance was amazing. Their weekend was better than the men's. And I don't want to take anything away from the men's, because it was a great weekend as well.
But it just wasn't as good as the women's.
It wasn't as good as the women's.
Sorry.
Just point blank, period.
Sorry.
Villanova averaged 17. Their win margin was 17 points per game,
and they won by 17 in the national championship. So it felt. Listen. If you'd have came in and you'd have asked who's winning the women's national championship, you'd probably say UConn.
We picked it. I said UConn's going.
Ain't nobody beating them. They ain't lose yet. Ain't nobody beating them. So I want to say, like, I think across the country, I think as a media, everybody in media a light bulb has to go off.
Absolutely.
The light bulb has to go off. Like with the WNBA Finals is arguably one of the more. I'm gonna say this: the WNBA Finals probably might be more entertaining than the NBA Finals.
Depending on who goes.
Depending on who goes.
Okay, I could go with that.
It just might be.
I can go with that.
It just might be. You know, if I'm blessed to have a daughter one day, I would want people to shed light on my daughter's accomplishments, my daughter's team's accomplishments. I wouldn't want her to get a 2-minute clip. I want, and don't put it on ESPN3 or ESPNU. Put it on ESPN2. Oh, the main ESPN, not ESPN2, but ESPN also.
Absolutely.
You know, let them get, like, she should have been hosting Sports Center. She should have been on Good Day America or Good Morning America. She should have been on something.
Women's teams are very good. If you even just not to get off of the women's basketball, but the women's national soccer team, the USA team, is way better than the men's. Way better.
Way better. Way better.
Not even close.
Not even close. Not even close.
But the men get way more light.
And I think that's something that we need to change and start pushing the culture forward, you know.
Because I don't even think the USA men's team is going to the World
No,
Cup.
they're not.
They're not going.
They're not going.
But the women's team is.
Every year. You can count on that. You can bet your dollar on that.
So us as media, because we are media as well, we need to shine more light on women's sports. And this weekend proved it again.
Women dominate the Winter Olympics for the U.S.
Because, you know, half of the sports we don't know about. But that's neither here or there. We need to learn about them. We need to learn about them.
Either way, man, you know, I think as a media family going across, I think we need to we got to shed more light. And then, so we got to hold each other accountable on the show.
Absolutely.
We got to start talking more about women's sports.
Absolutely.
But moving forward, you had an issue with ESPN's most impactful basketball players list over what was it ever? It was ever.
It was ever?
It was ever.
Yes.
And I got the list from 25 down.
You got
know?
the list from 25.
And I was trying to read it, and I think that for the most impactful, it didn't mean just in between the lines. It was called the Game Changers list.
Game Changers.
But I think it also meant that what else have you done outside of off the basketball court to be a game changer as well? I think that tied into it just as much as on the court. So I know we had a little issue, and there's certain things we don't agree with, you know. But LeBron James was number one as the most game changer. I actually agree with it. LeBron.
So if we're gonna go with most impactful on and off the court, and you say you agree with LeBron being number one.
And I'm talking. Let's take everything. Let's talk about culture.
Okay.
Impacting the culture that comes before you as well as after you.
Okay.
You know, Michael Jordan and LeBron James is number 1 and 2, and I think that was very hard to.
Well, Michael
argue.
was the one. Michael was number one.
Mike was number one. I
Yeah.
just checked it last night.
No, Michael was number one.
Wow, so I checked the wrong listing. So I
Michael
probably have the. Okay, so I mixed that up. Okay, so I mixed it up. So LeBron was 2 and Mike was 1. I don't know arguments.
Okay.
No arguments. Mike and LeBron number 1 and 2. I agree.
And the list should be up on the screen, so you should be able to see it as well. I was confused. I looked at this list, and just to give a quick rundown, it was Michael number 1, LeBron James number 2, Magic Johnson number 3, Bill Russell number 4, Wilt Chamberlain number 5, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar number 6, Oscar Robertson number 7, Julius Erving number 8, Larry Bird number 9, 10 Stephen Curry, 11 Jerry West, and number 12 Kobe Bryant.
And I gotta add this. AI was 13th.
And I was wondering, and I'm still trying to. First of all, as soon as I seen the list, I got upset a little bit.
And I have a
I'm not
rebuttal
gonna
for
lie.
the AI thing. I have a rebuttal. I have a reason. I think I know why AI is 13th. I think I know why.
I'd love to hear it.
I think that whenever you're the first to do something, and you got to take the fall for certain things when it's not appropriate or not expected, or it's not really what it doesn't go with the vision. Just like LeBron was villainized for changing teams. It wasn't what he did, it's how he did it.
Okay.
Correct?
So with the braids and the tattoos.
With the braids and the tattoos and the hip hop and the do-rag and all that.
Changed the whole culture.
Changed the whole culture and he took some negative light on it because now everybody was forced to dress up. And luckily now we've turned the corner where guys are taking that and embracing it and adding a little bit of both. Where guys are still looking professional, but they still got some of that. It's not all the way boring black jacket, black pants, white shirt, black top, black shoes. You know, it's some flair. Like, it's now coming out of red carpet every night. You know, that's part of the pregame now, is to see what these guys, like, part of the pregame whenever the Thunder is before the game is what Russ got on.
Yeah, exactly.
Or what sneakers LeBron gonna pull out tonight. So, I think that he took a lot of the negative heat for that. So therefore, he impacted the culture, but he took such a negative. He was looked at in such a negative light.
But I felt like it was at that time though. So that bumped. I feel like
I think
it's
that
more
bumps him
glorified
down.
now than it was at that time. At that time, yeah, he was.
But he made it okay for everybody else to do it. But somebody has to take the fall. Just like now, everybody's switching and going to different teams and all that. Like, you can't really get mad at KD because KD didn't have a show. He just said, "I'm going to the Warriors." You can't get mad at him. He didn't have a show. But since LeBron did it first, how you gonna get mad at KD and not get mad at LeBron? You got mad at LeBron. All right, cool. Now everybody did it. So we got mad at somebody. Somebody has to take the fall for it. So I think that's with Allen Iverson. I think that's what happened with Allen Iverson. And I was a huge AI fan growing up. I had an AI jersey growing up, man. I was a huge AI fan. They didn't have the braids and nothing like that.
Well,
but
we did have the braids.
I didn't have the braids, but you know, and then growing up, like my dad, I remember my dad sitting on the other side. My dad would not let me wear a do-rag growing up.
Yeah, you would leave the house and then put it on.
I was scared he was gonna see me or somebody in the hood was gonna see me. I didn't even do that. If I wasn't in the house, I didn't have a do-rag on. But you would go out and you would see Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson had his own do-rags.
Absolutely. He had his own braids. You getting the AI?
So, you know, so I think that kind of hurt him a little bit in this whole
So,
list thing.
looking at this list, though, just looking at the top 12, did anything jump out to you like, why is this person so high? Because I'm not going to lie, when I first saw the list, I was distraught. I was hurt. I was hurt a little. It touched my soul. It touched my soul. But that's why I said the first time I saw this.
Okay.
I looked at it. I was like, wow.
Let's go through it, right? So Michael Jordan's number one, right?
Okay.
Do we really got to discuss Michael Jordan?
I don't think we should.
Do we got to discuss LeBron James?
I don't think we should.
Do we got to discuss LeBron James? The first athlete to get $92 million from Nike before
Game changer. Game changer.
He's going to be probably the first active billionaire athlete.
You probably will, but okay. All right.
Listen, Nike 2 years ago just got out of the black from paying him.
Do you really think they were in the black?
I think so.
No way.
I think so.
No way.
And let me tell you
Nike made that money in the first 5 years with his shoes.
Listen.
No way.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Right. This is gonna put it all to bed. Right. LeBron James was such an impact for the culture and just impact for the generation that they signed him to a lifetime contract, which is whatever we gonna pay is whatever we gonna pay, because we can't afford to give you a certain amount of money, and we might not be able to get this back. You know, LeBron James going on his tax return going to have the government going to send him an IOU on his tax return. So
I'm sorry, I'm looking at you like this, but you know,
and I don't think nobody has had as much pressure put on them
than
coming
LeBron
into the league.
You know what?
Coming in than LeBron James.
I hear you.
And for him to do that, three MVP, 4 MVP, three NBA titles, 3 Finals MVPs. You know, first played 30,000. What's that? 27.9. Come on, man.
And it's sad that you know what that the caller can't call in today because he's here, but he's sending messages. Kobe just played. He didn't change the game. You know what? I'm not even gonna go there right now. But I'm just trying to get focused. I'm trying to stay focused, Chris.
We'll talk about my daddy. Cause we gonna
listen,
jump
I'm not gonna say anything.
You're gonna jump.
I'm just listen.
He only did that just to mess with you.
I know.
He only did that just to mess with you. So that's his way of adopting you. So welcome to the family, even though you're gonna be the black sheep.
Literally.
You still gonna be the black sheep. But you welcome to the family now.
But listen, no, I don't have a problem. I like the LeBron Magic. I feel Magic. Him and Larry Bird transcended the game.
They saved
the game of basketball. So I cannot say anything. And outside of basketball, he's done so many things in the community as well. I don't have a problem. Bill Russell, salute.
Iconic. You can't don't do that.
I salute. I can't say anything bad about
him and Kareem. Him and Kareem.
Wilt-
Him and Kareem were together.
Wilt transformed the basketball himself.
Ways
The way he's played.
Ways play.
Oscar Robinson,
Before his time.
way before his time.
Way before his time. He was
Okay.
before his time.
Dr. J,
Iconic, bro. Afro. He was the 70s. He was the 70s. Just like people wanted to be Mike, people wanted to be Magic, people wanted to be LeBron.
They wanted to be Dr. J.
At one point, people wanted to be Dr. J. The Afro, the clean cut. Remember, the NBA bought the ABA just for Dr. J.
just so he could come over.
We talking about a whole league.
Whole league.
And I'm going to let you take 4 other teams with you. Remember, the Nuggets, the Spurs, and the Pacers were original ABA teams.
Absolutely.
They were not original NBA teams. And the Nets. Mm-hmm. That was the deal. You give me Dr. J and you take these other teams with you, y'all just got to come on to the NBA. I need Dr. J, though.
They needed that pizzazz. They needed that flash.
So he
NBA
might arguably be able to go before Wilt.
He could probably go higher. I would not knock that. Larry Bird, you would have to put him up there because he helped save the game of basketball. Steph Curry. He changed basketball
He has changed
now.
the way game is played now.
Absolutely.
To his credit, he also has a team that they've changed the game team-wise, but he's made three-point shooting more popular now, cooler than dunking.
Absolutely.
Where they're talking about it's too easy. Put a 4-point shot in there for him because the 3-point is too easy. They talking about a 4-point shot because the boy makes so many threes.
He's different. He's different.
So first unanimous MVP
ever. Jerry West.
The logo. I'm not putting him before Kobe, but the logo.
All right. So with that being said, I'm fine now. I'm okay.
However, the logo.
Just trying to understand.
And the only person to win Finals MVP
On a losing team.
and not win the Finals.
But nobody knows who was on the other team anyway.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You got Finals MVP and didn't win the Finals.
Listen. I mean, you can move. I don't totally disagree with it. I wouldn't throw the list away. You can look at the list and move some people around. But as a whole, I understand it. I get it.
Let me ask you this. What has Kobe done for the game? Like, what is Kobe's impact on the game of basketball outside of basketball?
Outside of basketball?
Like, what has he done? What has he done that he was the first of, or he had these hard challenges that he had to overcome, or he was faced with the pressure of,
I wouldn't say nothing outside of basketball. No, I wouldn't.
So what in basketball has he done? Like we could say, like LeBron had the most pressure. Michael Jordan had to be the face of the league. He was made the face of the league and took that challenge on it, made it his league.
Okay. So you're saying LeBron had the most pressure coming in?
For a person who never played before. Playing and never played a game before.
Okay.
Who had more scrutiny and more pressure on them?
Scrutiny? Oh, scrutiny. Who, LeBron?
Yeah.
I can't.
They were trying to kill him.
Because we're going to
bro.
talk about LeBron later. You said scrutiny. Are you
trying
serious?
to kill him, bro? Remember, they talking about the eligibility thing. They was attacking the boy's mother. They was attacking the boy's mother.
Because he just came out of nowhere with
they
the
was
Hummer.
Talking the boy. They talking. Listen,
that's
leave
scrutiny.
mothers out of it.
That's scrutiny.
Leave mothers
is that scrutiny?
out of it.
Please tell me. First and foremost,
No,
is that scrutiny?
Scrutiny is the wrong word.
Okay, thank you. Because it definitely was not.
Who has more pressure on that person than LeBron James coming in?
I think he was the most highly glorified. I don't even want to go.
Who's done that?
I don't even want to go into it because we're going to talk about him a little later. I don't even want to get too much into it.
Kareem and Bill are the reason why we're able to sit on this platform and talk about sports as black men.
Absolutely.
So we can't argue that.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything about it.
So,
but I understand your question when it deals with Kobe. I just feel like he was stuck in a matrix coming right after Mike. He was in that era. Nobody appreciated Kobe until maybe his last few years and him out.
I appreciate Kobe now more than he's gone.
Exactly. We didn't appreciate it as much when he was here because everybody say, oh, he's trying to be like Mike. He wants to be Mike. He walks like Mike. He talks like Mike. Chews gum like Mike. Everything was he wants to be like Mike.
He did.
See? This is all he heard. He can never be like Mike. And that was a fuel to his fire. We created a monster that tormented the league. but it's called the Mamba. But that's neither here nor there. We have to take a quick break. When we come back, we have some more basketball talk. You listening to Topics here on IBNX Radio.
You're listening to IBNX. IBNXradio.com. The station with the best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
Hey, what's up? It's Jay-Z.
Hey, I'm Mariah Carey.
Hey, it's Katy Perry.
It's your boy T.I.P., man. Get in. It's your boy Sean Kingston.
What's up, y'all? I'm Beyonce. This is Nicki Minaj, and I'm in the mix with
IBNX Radio.
You're listening to Topics here on IBNX Radio. Let's take a quick talk about this whole Kawhi and the Spurs situation. Tony Parker came out and spoke some words. Ginobili came out and spoke some words. Kawhi hasn't stepped on the court only 9 games this whole season. What do you feel is the place right now that Kawhi is in, and do you think he will be a Spur next season?
I think I think it's unfortunate for somebody who's very, very, very humble, who has gotten everything that he's gotten off his hard work. He hasn't said a word. The boy still drives the 98 Tahoe or something like that.
Yep.
He still drives the 98 Tahoe. He refuses. He's him. I feel like the Spurs, I think we've kind of blown it out of proportion. Tony Parker came out and said, he should be playing. I think he should be playing because my quad injury was 100 times worse, and I was back by November. I feel like that was the wrong step, and I think Kawhi Leonard's feelings probably is a little hurt. If I was a teammate, my feelings would be hurt because it's like, well, you don't have my back. And Manu Ginobili said the right thing. Manu Ginobili said we got to prepare as if he's not coming back.
Absolutely.
He said that, and the gist of it was we got to prepare like he was not coming back. If he's not, we got to still, because we can still be competitive. Now, we want him, but we can't be peak looking over our shoulder like the Willis Reed effect if he's coming out of the locker room. So, I'm interested to see how the Spurs are going to handle this. Are they going to go out and throw the bag at him? You would think so, because if the Spurs aren't going to be in the Kawhi Leonard sweepstakes, I can tell you 29 other teams that's going to be in the Kawhi Leonard sweepstakes.
Absolutely.
Kawhi Leonard will go to any team, any other NBA team, and they will make room for him.
The Spurs is the only team that he could be the first $200 million man.
True. But it kind of goes away from what the Spurs kind of built their foundation on. And I think you got to change with the times.
Supermax.
And I think I would Supermax Kawhi Leonard.
That's on the table.
I would
$200 million.
It's on now. Can we get it done now?
What is it? $219 for 5 years. That's $43.8 million per.
It's a lot of money.
What?
You got to do it. This man won you a championship or helped you win a championship, Finals MVP. You got to.
I think Tony Parker was dead wrong for his comments.
Right.
My injury was 100 times worse. You're correct. No, it was, because that was the first time they ever seen anything like that. I think his quad separated from the bone. It was bad.
Tony Parker's also 40.
It was bad. But also, you can't say what another player's threshold for pain is. 1, 2, that's your teammate. The Spurs have always been a close-knit organization, tight-lipped, nothing comes out. It needs to stop. That was not needed. You want this player to come back 100 times worse. Even if you didn't mean it maliciously, it doesn't matter. So certain things you shouldn't say. You don't need to say. We don't need to know that your injury was 100 times worse. And you don't need to say it to the media. It was wrong. It was dead wrong. I don't agree with it. Now, this can edge him out the door. It can. You know what? Now my teammates talking about me. Y'all don't know exactly what's going through my head right now. You're supposed to support me. But it was wrong.
Will he be a Spur next year?
Will he be a Spur? I think he was wait one more year, because he got an option next year. Wait one more year, play, and then, he has so many options. Like you said, 29 other teams, but LA is on the table. Go back home. But you know what's interesting? What might be a nice little fit for him? Boston. And I'm going to tell you why. If they did trade him, this is what I'm saying. If they did trade him, the Spurs' first option should be to talk to Boston because they have the pieces. If you want to regroup, all right, I'll give you Kawhi. If you're Boston, you can have whoever you want except for Kyrie. You can have whoever you want. So they're going to want Tatum, Smart, and probably Horford. But you're not going to get him and Jalen. You're not going to get Jalen and Tatum.
You're going to get Gordon Hayward, though.
No. No, it would be no. You're not getting Gordon Hayward and Kyrie. No. They're going to get nice young pieces because you want to regroup.
Okay.
That would be the first team that you should speak to if you're going to trade him.
Kyrie, Kawhi Leonard, and Gordon Hayward is nasty.
Dirty, in your words.
That's very, very. That's spooky.
And LeBron better go to Philly if that happens.
Yeah.
He better go to
You
Philly
got to
if that
double up,
happens.
bubble up. You got to double up, bubble up.
Absolutely.
You got to double up, bubble up, because that ain't going to be fun.
Absolutely. So, let's switch it up a little. Since we were so much on this topic. LeBron James breaks MJ's record of consecutive games of double-figure scoring with 867 straight and counting. How important was this accomplishment?
As important as me brushing my teeth this morning.
That's important, I would hope.
For me personally.
Oh, wait. I hope that's very important.
For me personally, it's very important.
Oh, for you personally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like for him, it's personally important.
Okay.
Do you care if you didn't see me all day, would you have
I'm
cared?
glad you put that. If I ain't see you all day, nah, I wouldn't care. That's how important this is. Listen.
I feel like we're just reaching now. Like we're reaching. Like this was a reach. This was a one of those. Like I'm on my tiptoes trying to get the cereal at the top. I can't. I'm smacking the box around. Let me go get a chair and let me just go grab the cereal.
Which you probably had a lot of trouble with.
Yeah, I did.
Huh?
I did. I did.
Okay.
Don't make me get started on you though.
What happened?
Don't make me get started.
Let's see,
on
there you
though.
gonna go. I'm just
Fire hide your comb.
Oh.
Fire hide your comb. Don't make me hide your comb out here. Don't make me
All
hide-
right, listen.
Don't make me hide your comb out here.
But I agree with you. When I heard this, first of all,
I didn't know this was a record. I didn't know that-
exactly. I
didn't know
said
they
a
kept
record.
this.
What record?
Him scoring
Did
10
Michael
points.
Jordan know about this record when he did it?
10 points again. I mean, I feel like I feel like it's not a record that you keep just because like you're supposed to score. If you don't score 10, something's wrong. What's wrong with you if you don't score 10? LeBron, Michael, Kobe. You got to score 10. You can't score 10. You're the best player on the planet. You can't score 10.
This is.
I don't know why I didn't want to talk about it.
And no, and I need to because.
Why do you need to talk
You know
about
why? Because this is gonna take me back to what I was saying before that you brought up. LeBron James is the most glorified superstar we've in the present time of him playing that we've ever had.
Ooh.
That we've ever had. Most glorified. Jordan was the most admired. LeBron is the most glorified from the time he came into the league. The chosen one, the commercials, the tattoo, everything.
But that was all media, like I said, and I think
Oh,
that put
but-
added pressure. That added pressure.
Okay, added pressure, whatever you want to say, it's added pressure, but he was glorified. The first time he tasted a hint of someone not liking him and not glorify him is when he made that move to Miami.
Yeah, cheers. This is gonna sum it all up. Has he or has he not lived up to that?
I'm not. We're not taking anything away from it.
Answer the
But that's
question,
not.
so
That's
yes or no
not.
question.
But that's neither.
So yes or
Yes,
no.
he's lived up to it.
Okay.
But that's neither here or there. I'm not saying. All right, there's a lot of players that have been great throughout their careers, right? But I'm talking about glorified for every single moment. They just told us a record that no one ever knew about.
I agree with this record. This record was nonsense.
But it's every little thing that he does.
This record was nonsense. I agree with you.
That's why I'm saying he's the most glorified superstar we've ever had.
Okay.
Michael Jordan.
Was the most. I like your point. I'm
admired,
sorry, you're making it
but
very
people
hard to
hated.
disagree.
People
with you.
hated him.
My dad hated Mike.
People hated him, but he was admired. Okay. Kobe Bryant. Hated him, arrogant, everything under the sun, selfish, everything. Oh, what's now? You want to play with LeBron. If you don't want to play with LeBron, something is wrong with you. If everybody's looking at destinations or where you want to play, I would want to play LeBron. If you say I do not want to play with LeBron, they will look at you like you have 10 heads. What's wrong with you? Why would you not want to win? Why would you not? Glorified every step of the way. We're going to find out about every single milestone, even if it wasn't a milestone before he did it.
So LeBron.
I bet you Michael Jordan didn't know. Absolutely, he did not know that.
That's almost like it's expected. We're keeping a record of something that's expected of you, or that's the least you can do. It's like this is the least you can do record.
And the next closest person to him is what? James Harden with 250. Now, I tell you this. What's crazy about this stat? Like I said, Harden is the next closest with 257. He's 610 games behind.
I think what might be significant was it injuries? Maybe is injuries included in this?
But that's why I actually respect it because of his longevity. Like
so you wouldn't be on the list because you sat out a game and you just weren't like you didn't play.
No, if you played in that game and you left with injury, that counts. Like Kevin Durant, he played in the game but he got hurt, so he only had 9 points or 8 points.
Got it. So I mean, okay, that's cool. I don't care. It was cool.
I mean,
good job doing what you're supposed to do.
That's it. I think it's time for trivia time. Yeah, we're gonna jump into some trivia time. That's what we're gonna do here. What's wrong? You all right? Who won last week? Let's go.
What time is it? It's trivia time with Tone.
It's showtime.
Okay, so let's get into some trivia time this week. So we switch it up a little bit. We did MVPs from
2000 to present.
From 2000 to the present with it's the NBA,
MLB.
same thing, MLB, and
NFL,
football.
NFL.
Yes. I won last week, right?
You know you won last week. You just said
And
it.
the week before. Okay, so
Last
I'm gonna let
week
you start
before
off
that we tied.
because I started off. Huh?
The week before that we tied.
No, the week before that we tied.
I just
I
said
won.
that week before that we tied. Last week you won. The week before that we tied.
I don't think we tied the week before that. I think I won 2 weeks in a row.
Okay, congratulations.
I mean, it's all right though.
5-time NBA champion,
5-time NBA champion,
3-time NBA Finals MVP,
3-time finals,
2-time NBA MVP,
2-time NBA MVP,
15 NBA All-Star,
15-time All-Star,
10-time NBA All-First Team, 8-time All-Defensive Team, NBA Rookie of the Year. Who am I?
You said 3-time finals MVP?
Yes, I did.
3-time finals MVP. $15-time All-Star. 2-time, what was it? 2-time what?
NBA MVP. You got to be the MVP of the season before to be
Okay.
on make the list.
Tim Duncan?
Tim Duncan.
Okay.
I don't know my MVPs in this.
I think NBA is going to be easy for us.
That's why I only did one.
NBA champion, 15-time All-Star, All-Star MVP, 4-time NBA first team, 3-time NBA second team, 2-time NBA third team, NBA Defensive Player of the Year, 9-time All-Defensive Team first team, and 3-time All-Defensive second team, and 4-time rebounding champ.
Kevin Garnett?
Yes.
14-time MLB All-Star.
14-time MLB.
1 World Series champion.
1 World Series.
3-time AL MVP.
3-time AL MVP.
2-time Golden Glove winner.
2-time Golden Glove.
10-time Silver Slugger Award.
10-time Silver Slugger.
4-time Hank Aaron Award winner.
How many times?
4 times.
4 times.
5-time AL home run leader.
4 times?
5.
5. AL home run leader. It's amazing how they always find this song for me. 1 World Series. Alex Rodriguez.
Alex Rodriguez. Good job, my brother.
Thank you.
This way it get dicey.
All right, let's go keep it baseball.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's keep it baseball. Made my MLB debut 2007 with the Reds. ALCS MVP, AL MVP, 5-time All-Star, AL batting champion, AL RBI leader, 3-time Silver Slugger, and one time I hit 4 home runs in one game.
You made your debut with the Reds. All right, so I think I know who this is. But it wasn't, you weren't never the NL MVP, you was the AL MVP, right? So you played with another team, you didn't play with the Reds. Awesome.
Absolutely.
How many MVPs have I won?
One. Okay.
I want to say Josh Donaldson. Josh Donaldson?
No, Josh Hamilton.
Josh Hamilton. That's who. With the what's in it with the Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
You know who I was thinking with the Reds? Who I thought I was thinking? I was gonna say Joey Votto.
Votto.
Josh Hamilton did hit 4 homers. You got it. Okay. 10-time MLB All-Star.
10-time.
2-time World Series champion. 3-time NL MVP. 2-time NL home run leader. 2003 NL batting champ.
2003.
Yeah. 2-time Golden Glove winner. 2-time Hank Aaron Award winner. And NL Rookie of the Year.
NL Rookie of the Year?
Yeah.
What
Josh
year?
Hamilton. I forgot.
NL Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, like 97 or something.
10-time All-Star. 2-time World Series. National League. All-Star, 2-time World Series champ, 3-time NL MVP, 2-time National League home run leader, 2003 batting champ, 2-time Golden Glove, 2-time Hank Aaron Award, NL Rookie. 2003 was the batting champ.
You do well with the music. Ever since they started playing the music, you've been winning. Yo, cut the music. Because ever since y'all been playing the music, you've been winning.
I'm stuck on this one. And now. I don't know.
You give up?
Never give up. Who do I 2-time? I'm stuck. Who?
Albert Pujols.
Albert Pujols.
See,
oh, my
what threw you
goodness.
off probably was you thought Pujols because you thought the Angels Pujols. You just completely forgot the whole St. Louis Cardinals run.
Oh my goodness. Okay. We got to go commercial. We got one more before commercial. All right. So, 3-time Pro Bowler football, 2-time first team All Pro, MVP, NFL MVP, NFL Offensive Player of the Year, NFL rushing leader, 2-time NFL rushing touchdown leader, and part of the NFL's 2000 All-Decade team.
Can you run that by me one more time?
3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first team All-Pro, NFL MVP, NFL Offensive Player of the Year, NFL rushing leader, 2-time NFL rushing touchdowns leader, and part of the 2000 All-Decade team.
I'm gonna take a shot at dark.
Sean Alexander?
Yeah, you got him on your list?
Nah.
You got it, Sean Alexander. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we have some more trivia time and more topics to go.
Each and every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. T.O.P.I.C. Squared on the air show featuring Jason, J-Boy, Carrie, Hoover, the Socialite. T.O.P.I.C. Squared on the air. Reason Monday is your new favorite day of the week. Music, special guest, celebrity birthday, the daily, segment, crazy holiday, and today in hip hop. IBNX Radio and the J.C. Squared on the air show. So much fun you didn't even realize you learned something. This message has been brought to you by Day Ray Media. Day Ray!
Okay.
Oh, it's on me, right?
Okay, we're back with topics on IBNX Radio.
It's on me, right?
On
Okay.
you. Let's do it.
2000 MVP.
2000 MVP. What sport
Yes,
is this?
football. Super Bowl champion.
Super Bowl champ.
7-time Pro Bowler.
7-time Pro Bowler.
3-time first team All Pro.
3-time All-Pro.
3-time NFL Offensive Player of the Year.
3-time offensive.
Yeah. NFL rushing touchdowns leader in 2000. NFL Rookie of the Year.
2000 rushing leader.
Mm-hmm. And NFL Rookie of the Year.
And NFL Rookie of the Year.
Uh-huh.
MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl champ.
Mm-hmm.
7-time Pro Bowler.
Mm-hmm.
2000 rushing leader.
Mm-hmm.
MVP. LaDainian Tomlinson?
Nah, Marshall Faulk.
Marshall Faulk. Oh my God. How did I? Oh. Okay. Okay. Baseball. World Series champ. 3-time All-Star. MVP. NL MVP. Silver Slugger Award. NLCS MVP. 2-time home run leader. 3-time RBI leader. NL Rookie of the Year, and Hank Aaron Award winner.
I want to say it's Votto. Said 3-time All-Star. Has the person won a World Series? No.
Yes.
Won a World Series. One MVP. One World Series. Chris Bryant?
Nah, Ryan Howard.
Ryan Howard. 5-time Pro Bowler.
5-time Pro Bowler.
3-time first team All Pro.
How many times?
3 times.
3-time All-Pro.
NFL Offensive Player of the Year.
What year?
06.
06 Offensive Player of the Year.
MVP in 06.
MVP 06.
2-time NFL rushing yards leader.
Another one. 2-time NFL rushing leader.
2 times. And then 3-time NFL rushing touchdowns leader.
5-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
06. I know. No. What? AP?
Nah.
LaDainian Tomlinson?
He was just early. You was just one early. You was just one
Unbelievable, son. Unbelievable.
You was just early. You was just a little early. That's all it is.
3-time Pro Bowler.
Oh, Jesus.
2nd team All-Pro.
Jesus.
MVP. Passer rating leader in 2003. and this is a big hint. I shared the MVP.
You gave me the hint. You gave me the Steve McNair.
There you go.
Steve McNair. So I won this week. I won this week. I probably wouldn't have got it because you shared it with Peyton Manning, right?
Shared it with Peyton Manning in 03. I had to give you that because Pop here. You're
All right, cool.
you're
You come back every week because I'm tired of losing. Let's switch to baseball really quick. You know, Giancarlo Stanton, 2 home runs in the Yankee debut. Thoughts? What we thoughts? Is this a sign? Is this the sign of just?
You know what? This season
let's not get
is,
excited.
Let's not get excited.
So this is
I don't
not
want-
this is not the sign for hey, this is just the beginning.
No, it is just the beginning, but the baseball season is 6 months. It's so long,
Right.
right? Because right after he hit those 2 home runs,
They
what he
lost.
went? No, they won their first 2 games.
Yeah, and then they lost.
And first 2 games, where he went 2 for 3, hit 2 home runs. He went 0 for 5.
Which he does.
Because
Which-
he's
Which he does. He's streaky like that.
streaky like that. 0 for 4.
Which he does.
And they lost those 2 games. And then his home debut the other day, yesterday, they booed him. He went 0 for 5. Booed him.
Welcome to New York, baby.
Welcome to New York, Carlos Stanton.
Welcome to New York.
Welcome. This is what they do. They love you when you're doing great, but as soon as there's a little inkling of some negativity,
They booed A-Rod.
listen. So, you know what? I do like the makeup of the team, but we know we have some injuries. Greg Bird was out. Jacoby Ellsbury's out. Aaron Hick is out. So we have injuries, but we're going to be good. Right now we're in 3rd, but we won today. We beat the Blue Jays. We beat them again yesterday. And shout out to Didi Gregorius.
9 RBIs.
2 home runs. He was balling yesterday.
You got 9 RBIs on the season already.
Balling. 8 came from yesterday. 8 came yesterday. He has 9 on the season. 8 came yesterday. But their lineup is scary. The thing that carried us last year was our bullpen, and those 2 games we lost, our bullpen lost it. But you know, Aaron Boone, Aaron Boone was criticized a little bit yesterday.
I forgot he was there. Completely forgot. Completely forgot he was the manager. Forgot we spoke about it at all. I completely forgot.
You know, he was criticized for intentionally walking Josh Donaldson, which is MVP Josh Donaldson.
You don't want to pitch to the former, but he's in a rare form of who he once was.
But also understand they intentionally walked him with a man on 3rd and 2nd.
So you intentionally walk somebody in bases loaded.
Intentionally walked him for bases loaded.
It's your boy. That's your boy.
And Smoke hit a grand slam.
Mm-hmm.
So, he said it was a
your
judgment call.
Yeah, terrible judgment call.
Listen, he said it could have went,
It could have went other ways, but it
coulda
didn't go your way, so you got to take the heat with
with
the
2
pitcher.
outs.
Just say that was
Absolutely.
stupid of me. Don't say it could have went either way.
So-
We know that clearly.
Absolutely.
We got 2 eyes. We know that could have went either way.
Absolutely.
It didn't go your way. That was a stupid move. Simple. Take the heat.
He has to take the heat. A grand slam.
Who else has been balling in baseball?
You know who I really, really like right now?
Who?
And everybody,
It's opening week.
it's opening.
Yes,
It's opening
tomorrow
week.
we'll make a full week.
You know who's balling? Bryce Harper.
I got Bryce Harper. 4 homers, 9 RBIs.
Hitting 417.
Stupid.
He's looking like, that contract is coming up. And, he's looking like they need to pay him that $400 million. Baseball money different. Baseball money different. My son loves baseball,
You need to get it started.
and he
you
plays
know you
it.
in the right
He
area for
plays it.
baseball, right?
He plays it.
You know you in the right area for baseball. You in the
Listen.
South. They play
Listen,
football and baseball
So
in the
if
South. It's
he
warm,
wants
baby.
to, I won't knock it. But he's looking in rare form. He's looking like that MVP season. He had he was playing very, very good
And got hurt.
last season and got hurt. He had the amazing July. Was it July?
It was July.
Had the amazing July
He got hurt in August.
and got hurt. So if he stays healthy, he's arguably one of the best, if not the best hitters in baseball. Hands down.
Top 2 in
So-
his position between him and Judge right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I like Charlie Blackmon.
He's balling.
Charlie Blackmon got 4 home runs as well for the
Ball.
Rockies.
Balling. I just don't trust the Rockies, but
You don't have to. We got him as the wild card. Got him as the wild card, but Charlie Blackmon is playing pretty well. And everybody's just.
I mean, it's still early.
It's still.
It's not even been a full week.
It's not even.
Not even a
it's-
full week.
when things start kicking off, we'll see the progression of the teams start to separate themselves. I just need my Yankees to get that bullpen back together.
And
That
will.
was what was holding us together last year.
I agree.
Besides
I agree.
our hitting.
Our Yankees. That's one team that we can actually agree that we like together. The Yankees.
Yeah,
Only
that's
team. Only
that's
team.
where it stops. But that's okay. But
Only
that's
team.
okay. And we'll get everybody back. But Boston 5-1
I said it. We
We
said it
said
last
it.
week.
We said it.
We said it last week. Like, don't sleep on them boys.
at all.
Don't sleep on them.
At all.
Don't sleep on them boys.
Boston
David Price is gonna come
has-
back healthy, and you just added the hottest hitter in baseball last year with
Come on.
JD Martinez. I told you that. We said it last week. We said it last week. Not surprised. We said it
AL
last week.
East.
It's gonna be a toss up
It's tough.
because ain't the Twins? No, the Twins in the Central. Twins are not in the East.
We got the Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay. But yeah. So I mean, did you have anybody else?
No, that's it. How about you?
That's it for me.
Let's switch it to college football.
College football. That was an interesting little topic here with Josh Rosen and Jim Mora. Jim Mora had some comments that the media ate alive. Basically, if anybody seen it, he basically said he believes Sam Darnold would be a better fit for the Cleveland Browns with the #1 overall pick. Rosen is a millennial who needs to be challenged intellectually so he doesn't get bored while calling him without a doubt. This is what he said that, and then he still called Rosen without a doubt the #1 QB in the draft. What are your thoughts on that?
What are you doing? That's what? Why did you? Josh Rosen tweets out why. Hashtag why. Like, it didn't make any sense. Why would you say something like that? Why would you say that? Why would you say that about your former quarterback? And Sam Darnold's a millennial too. What are you talking about? You just happen to coach Josh. It's not like you coach. I would understand if you was able, like, if it was like USA basketball and all these guys competed, they were on one team and you were able to coach all these guys at one. You've never coached Sam Darnold. So you don't know what Sam Darnold. So with a quarterback who has the potential to go #1, you're a quarterback who has the potential to go #1, and you kind of jeopardize that by like, hold on, that was an eyebrow raiser. Like, well, what are you saying? He might get bored. Bored. This is his livelihood. This is life. This is profession.
Absolutely.
This is what we're paying him. We're not paying him to get bored. Be bored. So there's a chance that we draft this kid and he's going to get bored?
Is that what you're telling me?
Let me know now if he's going to be bored. And the Jets
Coming
talking
from this
about
coach.
taking him. So the Jets is going to get we got 2 hurt quarterbacks and a bored one.
That's your team.
That's my team. Throw the whole team away, sis. Throw the whole team away. Just throw the whole team away. Just throw the whole team away. But yeah, man, I think certain times, man, you just gotta just be quiet. Sometimes when you talk about former players, especially as a coach, man, because it's gonna come back as a reflection on you. Well, what did you do not to keep him from getting bored?
Absolutely. And just to speak on that slightly, I didn't understand it because of course you have this quarterback going into the draft where 3 other touted quarterbacks are also in the draft. They can go 1, 2, 3, 4. They could go 1, 3, 4, 5, but there's no solidified at that #1 spot. So he came back out and he wanted to clarify exactly what he meant by that. He said not by any means did he mean that Donaldson is better than Rosen. He just felt that
Darnold.
I'm sorry.
You talking about Josh Donaldson? It's fine.
Donald was a better fit for Cleveland, which I understand. But he should know this as a coach, somebody that's been in the media, that's been a coach. You're not a rookie coach. You've been around for a while in the NFL.
It's not a
If you make any type of statement like that, you need to clarify exactly what you mean.
You don't need to make that statement like that.
You don't. But if you do, clarify. I need you to all understand what I mean by this. I'm not saying Darnold is better than Rosen. I just think he's a better fit for Cleveland than Darnold. Then you'll get some scrutiny for that too, because what do you mean by that? But clarify that, because it's making it seem like your quarterback is unfit and he gets bored and he doesn't want to do this. You need to clarify what you're speaking about, because you have a young kid here, 20 years old, 21 years old, going into a profession that's going to be his livelihood, like you said, and teams are looking at everything under a microscope. And your comments are going to make them look even harder. So he tried to clarify, yes, he's a quarterback that wants to know why certain things, why are you calling this play call, which is understandable. That's what great quarterbacks, he wants to know exactly why this play is going to work. But this is what you should have said before, not now. So be clear in anything you're speaking of, because the media will eat you alive.
You can't use words like bored or needs to be challenged. You can't say those things. The media will take that and run with it and chew it apart.
Absolutely.
Perfect example. Allen Iverson. We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice is probably the most infamous soundbite in sports. Right?
Practice?
We're talking about practice. Not a game. Not a game, dog, but practice. That soundbite wasn't clarified for another 12 years after, when the documentary came out, where you got to see the whole entire interview. Where he was like, we're talking about practice. I lost my best friend, one I grew up with, and y'all mad at me because I missed practice, which is understandable as a human being, but we didn't know that at the time because the media decided to take the practice part.
And then they labeled him as uncoachable and everything under the sun. And they went on top of whatever everybody else was thinking about him already. So, yes, that did play a major factor.
So, you can't make comments like that, man.
I agree. And you can't, but if you do, in my aspect and what I believe, you need to clarify anything you speak of.
Does this hurt his stock?
Does it hurt his stock? I don't think it will. If the team was going to pick him number one, if Cleveland was going to pick him, I still think they'll pick him. It was an eyebrow raiser, though. It was. But I think it wouldn't stop a team from picking him. I don't think so.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you. I don't think it'll hurt his stock. I think that now he's gonna be more. He's going to be looked at with a finer comb now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And his transition to the NFL will be a lot harder.
Okay.
What I'm starting to see, what I'm starting to think is, with a lot of quarterbacks that we see that you draft high, you kind of let their natural talent take them there, and then you tweak as you go.
Okay.
I.e., like a Cam Newton. You let Cam Newton's ability produce, and when it's time to tweak or just tune up some things, that's when you sit down. But you're not coming in there to overcoach Cam Newton. Okay. Because you've seen Cam Newton make plays.
But I also feel like that you do those two players that you initially put into that starting position. Because if you have a player come in and sit, that means you need some more building and fine tuning with major things. I need you to sit back.
Hypothetically, if the Jets did take Josh Rosen, I can see Josh Rosen start.
I don't think he'll start.
I can see it, though. I can see it. But that's a good point. But what I'm like, and you're right, because those guys do start. Like another one was Jameis Winston. Mm-hmm. Like, you had to scale back on Jameis. Like, all right, come on now, because there's a lot you really don't know.
Absolutely.
So come on.
But his talent is unprecedented.
Guys like Jared Goff, like, I don't see them guys like overcoaching Jared Goff. Now I see with Josh Rosen, you're now gonna have to almost micromanage everything that he does as a professional, because his coach said that you might get bored. So it's interesting to see.
Absolutely. I want to switch it up a little bit. And we spoke about OKC last week, right? And the big thing was, with 4 games left, Russell Westbrook was 57 rebounds away from averaging a triple-double for a second consecutive season. Right?
Impressive.
Very impressive. For a second consecutive season, right? They played Golden State last night. He had 44 points.
6 rebounds. 6.
No, he had 16 rebounds.
16 rebounds?
He had 16 rebounds. And 6 assists.
I missed the one somewhere. I was tired.
It's all right. You was tired. And 6 rebounds. KD had, I believe it was like 34, 36 or something like that. 10 and 4 assists. Looking at that game, I'm trying to understand because I was going back and forth with my friends on the group chat, and I'm looking at the game. They lost. OKC lost this game, right? It was like 111 to 107. Paul George had 20. Melo had 12. But Paul George shot 5 for 19, and Melo shot 4 for 16. That's 9 for 35 combined.
You just found where you lost at.
So that's what I was going to ask you.
You shoot
If you're
12 for
Russ,
35. You shoot 12 for 35, you win.
Do you blame your co-stars for this loss?
This particular loss? Do you mean like publicly or do you just mean like?
No, just in general.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to shoot better. You guys got to shoot better. I don't blame them, but you do got to look at them like, yo, guys, we got to shoot better. Like, you got to shoot better. Like, if I got 44, 16, and 6, I'm allowed. I think I'm allowed to miss a little something. You know, so I'm doing other things that impact the
He went
game.
15 for 26. Right? Yeah. He went 15 for 26, 44 points.
You know, well, as the point guard, even though you're the scorer, you taking 26 shots. Maybe you give up a couple shots. No, maybe you give up a couple shots early, and then maybe they have a different approach to. They see the ball going in early. You know, maybe they felt rushed.
Point guard.
They
Thank
felt
you.
maybe they rushed.
Come on
Maybe
now.
felt maybe
Talk
they
to me
rushed
now.
it.
Talk
They
to
felt
me
maybe
now.
I wasn't getting enough touches, so I got to shoot bad shots because this boy's shooting everything.
Okay.
So you got to look at yourself too at the first. You got to look. I guess you got to look at yourself, Russ.
Okay, point guard.
You know, 15 for 26 is pretty good.
Absolutely.
But you got 2 other guys, but you don't need to take 26 shots anymore.
Okay, point guard. Talk to me now. Come on.
So, I mean, I don't got the ability Russell Westbrook had, but if I did, I'm probably taking 26 shots. I can take 26 shots in a week
Listen.
when I played. So,
I'm listening.
So, I mean, when you 26 shots is a lot for a point for anybody. That's not with the last name Jordan or Bryant. Simple. That just doesn't have the last name of Jordan or Bryant. That's a lot of shots. Nah. I mean, I think you see it. I think you've seen this before. So I think you've seen this before where Russ takes a lot of shots. They're in the game. His numbers are crazy, but the other guys you're supporting cast can't really be that supportive because
Victor Oladipo.
Victor Oladipo looked like a straight bum in Oklahoma City.
Is it difficult to play with Russell Westbrook?
Yes.
As another, I'm glad. I'm glad that
It's
somebody
very
else-
difficult.
Thank you.
It's very difficult.
Very difficult.
It's very difficult because the cash that you have always had. Everybody, if you look at the cash, right, those guys are alpha dogs. Like KD's an alpha. James Harden is an alpha. Steph's an alpha, but he's like, I got 2 chips. Or I got a chip. You know, I got 2 MVP. I don't mind. Like, Steph Curry's an alpha, but he's very unselfish, and he impacts the game in other ways. Steph Curry's okay with
That
getting
system,
13
that-
assists.
that
System,
philosophy is
that philosophy, it kind of makes, it allows multiple alphas or guys to just, for the greater good, sacrifice.
We have
Melo has been an alpha, and Paul George is, they're
Absolutely.
alphas. So,
and the reason I'm bringing this up is because when we were speaking about this, and I was saying, yo, it could be very difficult to play with Steph. Now,
I don't think it's difficult to play with Steph at all.
I mean, not Steph. I'm sorry.
Russell Westbrook?
Russell Westbrook. I feel it's very difficult. He says, yo, he's leading the league in assists, right? So when he said that to me, my mind started racing. He's leading the league in assists, absolutely. But he's leading the league in assists differently than, but let's take into consideration. Russell Westbrook is leading the league in assists, but the offense is running through him, right? Magic Johnson led the league in assists. The offense ran through who? Kareem. Championships. championships.
Russell Westbrook gets assists after he can't score himself.
So again, this is why I look at that team, right? And I say certain times things are more highlighted when things go wrong, of course, in any aspect. There's certain times I think he needs to be off the ball. If you get a conventional point guard that, that may come off the bench, maybe not start, but somebody that can handle the ball and put him off the ball and have maybe another dominant player along with him on the wing, I feel it can work out. You have him dominating the ball, offense running through him is going to be a little difficult.
I think you need, with Russell Westbrook, you need specialists to go with him. Like somebody who I think would be perfect would be like somebody like Andre Drummond, who doesn't need the ball. You're not going to throw him the ball in the post anyway because he can't score in the post. Mm-hmm. He's going to get all his points off getting to the basket and dropping it off and offensive rebounds and to the foul line. And that Russell Westbrook can be okay with that. And you surround him with 2-3 shooters like a Kyle Korver, guys like that who can't really put the ball on the floor. You just put Russell Westbrook in high ball screens and you just space the floor with shooters. He'll make the pass if guys are open. He'll make that. He'll penetrate, kick, wide open, things left like that. But you need specialists. You don't need guys who can go off the bounce or need the ball in their hands to be productive. Paul George cannot play off the ball. Carmelo Anthony cannot play off the ball.
Absolutely.
Simple. Never could, never will.
So that was my thoughts on it. I wish him the best. And 16 rebounds, man. You could tell he was going for that. He's going for that record.
I would too.
Okay, cool. All right.
Because you ain't going to win.
So just go for it because you ain't going to win?
You're not. You got to go through Houston, and you might lose to San Antonio.
If they make it. OKC might not. They fell from 4th to 6th. If they lose 2 more games, they're out of the playoffs.
Who they got next?
Houston.
They won't lose.
Miami.
They can win that game.
I forgot the other 2. But Houston, Miami, somebody else. They got another easier game. But, yeah. We got to wrap up. I'm Tone Taylor.
And I'm Chris Harris. Again, shout out to my boy Joe, winner of the NCAA Topics NCAA bracket competition. Thanks again, everybody who competed. Send us the brackets next year. Hopefully, we can do it bigger and better. My man Joe Sawyer's the winner, though. So, we're going to reach out to Joe and definitely.
And shout out to Pop for coming through.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to my dad. My dad is here, so he didn't call in today because he's actually here.
He's here, but he sent his messages
through the window. Always good to see you, my brother.
It's always it's always good. It's a movement. We're moving forward. We're getting better each and every week. I need everyone to tune in. I love it. I love the support. Topics on IBNX Radio, and we're out.
IBNX Radio.